Hey, this is Jason Morris with eXp Realty and Real Estate Agents That Really Work, and I'm on the phone here today with John Moscillo. Did I say that right, John?
You
John
said it right.
Moscillo. Okay, cool, man. I will butcher somebody's last name. So John, John's got some interesting stuff going on. John, I'll let you tell everybody though. I'll let you tell everybody a little bit about themselves.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for having me. And my name is John Moscillo, and I've been in real estate for 15 years. I've sold over $100 million in real estate. For the last 5 years or so, I was training at a national franchise, and our office was number 5 in the entire company, and that's because we really train the agents and get them to understand their numbers, understand their goals, and understand their action plans. A few years ago, I noticed a deficiency that agents were disconnected from the management level of their business. And with a failure rate of 80% for new agents, it was
Wow.
no wonder. Yeah, 80%.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I've heard that before, that, like 50% drop out in the first 6 months, and then 50% of what's left drop out in the next 6 months.
it's absolutely mind-boggling. And the reason that I found is that they're disconnected to the management level of their business. They get their license and they think the phone's going to ring or Aunt Sally's going to call them, or all of a sudden they're just going to be busy. And it's so
Yeah,
far from the truth.
yeah. You only have so many cousins and friends that are going to buy houses from you every year.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, kind of
And
funny. So why do you think that is? Why do you think these guys are? Why do you think the failure rate's so high?
I really firmly believe that, you have to look at real estate and put the service or the product that we sell to the side for a minute and look at it. It's a business. When you're coming into real estate, you are starting a business, so you have to look at it like a business. And I don't care if you're selling real estate or cupcakes. If you're selling
Yeah,
cupcakes, you need to know how many cupcakes you need to sell every day in order to make a profit. You need to know how many cupcakes you need to sell throughout the year to break even, to see a profit, to pay for the products. And then you have to look at that. How am I going to get the word for my cupcakes out there? How am I going to get people in through the door? How am I going to sell these 300 cupcakes per day? Real estate's the same thing. If you want to make 100,000 in your pocket, you got to understand gross commission income needs to be about 150,000. So how are you going to make 150,000? How many houses does that break down to? How many appointments does that break down to? How many number of warm or cold contacts per week do you have to make in order to hit that number? And when you understand that, it's only then you can build an action plan in order to do it.
yeah. I've noticed that too. A lot of agents have just. I mean, it's mind blowing to me that I did this little video on how to make $1 million selling real estate. I broke down it. I mean, I broke down it in an easy way to show you how to make $1 million doing listings in real estate. Now, I'm not making $1 million a year. Honestly, I'm not working hard enough to do it, but it was just a basic, simple explanation and process you go through, and I'm shocked at how much response I got from that. Most agents have never said, "Hey, I want to make 100 grand. What do I need? Here's how many houses." They've never done the numbers to figure out what they need to do.
They haven't, and I really think that that's where the biggest deficiency is. A national franchise just came out with their own proprietary system that supposedly will help build build that for you and everything else like that, to give you your roadmap, if you would. And it's so important. And everybody that I talk to, coaches at large coaching outfits and at other franchises and stuff, it's really the big push through the industry right now. Know your numbers, run your business like a business.
Yeah. So what were you doing with these agents to help them? You guys were the number 4, number 5 office in the territory. What were you guys doing to make these new agents successful? Like
Yes.
tell me, like a lot of my listeners. I mean, a lot of the people listening to this do probably 10 to 20 transactions or less. How can they get from, like, say, how can that agent get from those 10 transactions to 30? How could they add another 20 units in production a year?
Um, you know, Really they need to break those numbers right down. Take a look at how many contacts or how many appointments they need to be making, and you'd be shocked at how little you really have to do. All right. So for me, I have to do 52 unique and qualified appointments per year. So that breaks down to about 32 warm contacts and about 96 cold contacts. So when I come in on Monday, I look at my numbers and I say, okay, I'm at par, or I'm a -2, or I'm a +2 in my appointments. I need to get an appointment. So on Monday, the only thing that I focus on Monday isn't Facebook, isn't the emails that are coming in, isn't even the deal that I'm negotiating. When am I going to make my 2 or 3 or 4 hours of calls and follow-ups? Because the money is in the follow-up. And you got to, I wrote this blog a couple weeks ago, and it's really great. It talks about a new feature on an iPhone that a realtor found that made him $100,000, and that's the outbound call feature. So you have to pick up the telephone.
Yeah, the outbound call feature. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, you have to pick up that telephone and make those connections. You have to go to networking events. You need to have, I like to call them my power circle, my attorney, my divorce attorney, my finance guy, my financial planner, my mortgage guy, and we go work a room together. And we collect names, and then you follow up with those names with a handwritten postcard, and then you call the people up a week later and try to connect with them. That's building bridges to other people. That's really the basis of it, but you need to know how many bridges you need to build.
So you're really going out there, the thing that you were teaching these agents is to really go out there and network and build your sphere of influence.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
what would you say the best networking events are? Like, should they be going to like chamber events? Should they be going, or just go to all of them?
All of them. Chamber events are kind of cool because everybody's there to network to begin with. I went to an event about 3 weeks ago, and I posted a Facebook Live from it. And what it was a black tie event for Children's Hospital of Dartmouth. It was $150 per seat, and everybody that was there was, esteemed members of society, if you would. So my mortgage guy and I split a table. We brought a couple of guests. They got to enjoy a beautiful evening. The food was great. The fun was great. It was all completely decked out. Everybody was dressed to the nines, drinking champagne, and I got to talk to so many people. I walked out of there with 7 names of people that are looking to do something within the next year. Now those people get put into the follow-up system, and I stay in touch with them.
Yeah, and then you're calling and asking those people for referrals too, I'm sure.
100%. That's always part of the conversation.
I think those things are great to go to. I don't go to them as many as I should. And I don't know why, but if you're showing up to an event that's $150 a person, there's not going to be broke people there. Most everybody's going to be doing some sort of business related something, and they're probably going to have money. They're going to know what their credit is. They're probably going to know what their income looks like. They're actually going to be able to that's a highly qualified lead, wouldn't you think? Or what you say?
That is an amazing quality of lead right there. And let me just tell you the parlay benefit from that. I actually work with an agent. I personally coach him. He got into the business in 2014. They're about to break $10 million this year. Okay, they already broke $10 million. They're going for 12. Second full year in the business. After the first full year in the business, we're looking at his numbers and his average sale price. Now, this might not be the same. Every place is different around the country. Up here, where we are, 180 is short money, right? His average sale price was 180. Call it 200 for easy math. I said, listen, you're prospecting and everything else like that. Why don't you prospect to $300,000 neighborhoods? Because when you increase your business from $200,000 to $300,000, you're going to have a 30% increase in your business without doing anything different.
Yeah.
You're already prospecting. Just prospect across the street. And since they did that, they've had a tremendous growth in their business, and they're working less.
Wow. And you're talking about in that neighborhood, this guy, he doesn't really need to make tons of calls. We're only talking to sell $10 million. He's got to do, roughly 33, 34 transactions at $300,000 average?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. So with these new agents, a lot of them, they just need to you're saying that to add that 10, 20 deals to their pipeline a year, they just need to get out there and actually just network with people and actually follow up with the people they meet.
Yeah, the money's in the follow-up. I think we lose more through improper follow-up than we do from good prospecting.
Well, let me ask you. So when you go to these network events and you see somebody across the room you want to talk to, what do you do? What do you go up to them and say?
Usually first I watch them, see what the mannerisms are, see if there's any common denominators, see if they know somebody that I know. I know the people that are running these events most of the time. I'll ask my mortgage guy because he's super connected. I'll say, "Who's that guy? What does he do?" Oh, all right. Hey, and, I'll see the guy going over to the sushi table. I'll walk over there and I'll just start a conversation with him. I'm like, "Wow, this is a pretty amazing event, isn't it?" Yeah. What's your name? Oh, my name's John. I work with my company and da 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 da. You work at Dartmouth? Oh, do you know so and so? Yeah. Oh, he's a great friend of mine. I just helped him sell their house a couple months ago, or I helped him relocate to the area. Oh, yeah, that's great. Do you work out of the same branch? Do you work out of the same hospital? Where do you work? And I just try to build. Keep digging until I can find that connection, and we open up that conversation. And I wing it. I just wing
Oh,
it.
cool, man.
Quite frankly, I wing it.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
You just have to be bold enough to make that step. You can't be scared. You know what scares me, Jason, more than anything?
What's that?
Being broke. Not having any money coming in.
I'm the same way. My bank account motivates me more than anything.
Absolutely. I don't want to look at my kid and say, or my children and say, yeah, we can't go skiing because I don't have any money.
Yeah, I understand. I tell people that, when you set a goal, you need to do something with it that's almost emotional.
It is emotional. I'll tell you, somebody said something to me, and I don't want to get spiritual or religious or anything else like that. We all have our beliefs. Somebody said something to me, and he is my spiritual advisor. He said, let me ask you a question. This was about a year and a half ago. He said, what are the two most important days in your life? And, like anybody, I said, the day I was born and the day my kids were born. And he said, think about it this way, the day you were born and the day you figured out why. And I pondered on that for months. I pondered on it for months. And when I realized, why am I here? What happened was my vision, then a purpose was created. And my purpose really is to create a legacy and live the quality of life that I desire for me and my family and my children.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Everything changed. If you do it for the money will never come.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with that too. So with the agents that you were coaching, so number one, you tell them they need to get out, they need to network and follow up with people, pick up the phone and call people. What else should they be doing to increase their business?
They should have a solid follow-up campaign for the people that they work with. So they should have a newsletter, be reaching out to them, even a simple text message. Let me give you a little something that, what I'm about to tell you, somebody taught me years ago, and I've taught other people this with great success. It's actually built into our campaigns when somebody signs up with the system, and, they'll get this along the way. But, I'm in 100 different groups, and everybody's asking, what should I get for a closing gift? I don't buy anybody anything for a closing gift. What I do is I give them a certificate, and I position it throughout the process, especially with buyers. It works perfectly with buyers, and most of my buyers come from my listings. So what I'll say to them is I'll give them a certificate at closing saying we're conducting a housewarming either party or barbecue. You do whatever you want to do, like wine and cheese or something else like that, or barbecue. I got this big commercial grill. I show up. I got a tent. I got hamburgers, hot dogs, 2 different salads, dessert, and condiments. It cost me about $250 to $300 to go to Sam's or BJ's and buy all the stuff. But I get to invite all their friends. I create a Facebook event. I invite their friends. I send out evites. I invite their friends. All their friends get put into my database now, right? So now I'm reaching the second level. And there's a book out there called The 7 Levels. I'm getting into the second level by this way. So now I'm into, or you can call it the second generation if you want, but I'm into the second level. So when I'm at this barbecue, everybody's coming over saying, oh my God, that grill's so awesome. And I got an apron on with my name on it. And, of course it has my franchise name on it and everything. And I got a little list in my pocket to say, Tom's interested in homes. I put that back in my pocket. And I get to meet their friends.
Cool. So you got a little, so you're actually, as you meet these people, you're actually like writing down some notes and stuff about them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
taking notes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, by doing that, 11 barbecues, 62,000 in gross commission income. 11 barbecues at $300 a pop is $3,300, and I'm not spending money until I get paid money.
Yeah, that's right. Man, something I always do with people, and I don't, this is something I've always done, is I always buy the business cards at the back. I can write on them. So lots of times I take notes on the back of one of my own business cards sometimes, or sometimes if I'm handing a business card to somebody, I need to tell them something, or I'm referring somebody to them, a contractor, inspector, or whatever. I always write their number down on the back of my business card and hand it to them. But
yeah, back of mine are blank too.
so when you're getting all these notes, you're just going and just putting them in your database and setting them up on a drip campaign or whatever it is, so that you can follow up and keep in touch with them. You're setting yourself reminders and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, see, that's part of the whole More GCI system too. Is I put them right into that system, and I assign them a follow-up date, because I firmly believe that we've become a lazy society where we're expecting the drip campaigns are a nice complement to what we do. But if you pick up that telephone and you make that connection back to the person, as soon as they hear your voice, all that positivity that they remember about you comes back. So, yeah, they're set up on a drip campaign. They're set up on the monthly newsletter and everything else like that. But I also put it in there to follow up and call the people.
Yeah, picking up the phone and doing that, man, that personal touch versus just literally, some agents, I believe, just spam everybody once a month, if they're even doing that. But so now we haven't really talked about that. Now you have a software you guys have developed too. You talked about it just a second ago, your More GCI, but you guys have a software that you guys have developed to specifically do what you're talking about and going out and network with these people and being able to keep up and follow up with them, right?
Yeah, pretty much what More GCI does is, first and foremost, it taps you into the management level of your business. So it's a goal setting and accountability system. So let's say you want to make 200, it asks you 3 questions. What's your gross commission income goal? What's your commission percentage goal? And what's your average sale price? You put those 3 things in, and it builds a roadmap for you to show you how many contacts you need to be making, what your production needs to be, what your average commission is going to be, and it tracks that too. So if you want to be at 3% all the time and you pull in a couple 2.5s, you'll be able to see how much you're leaving on the board. So therefore, you can talk to a senior agent, your broker, or your coach, or your coach can look at that too and say, hey, we need to work on scripting because you left $13,000 on the board. Let's figure out how we can close that gap. And what it does is it gives you that entire roadmap. So if you need to make 23 warm contacts this week, now the management you have to say, how am I going to make these 23? If you need to make 75 cold contacts, the management you says, okay, we get 10 contacts per hour, so I need to be dialing for 8 hours this week. And you build your action plan, your marketing plan around it.
And it just lays it out there. So if you have a good week, though, and you're using it, you're tracking your numbers, it adjusts for that good week, too.
It absolutely does. It tracks your negative and positive gaps. So if you're ahead of the game, you're going to see you're ahead of the game. If you're below, we just entered into the 4th quarter, so if you're looking at that and you're not 75% or above, you've got to turn on the jets. The next 60 days really matter.
Yeah, that's right. So this thing actually keeps up. It's a CRM, right? As far as it keeps up our database, right?
It's CRM Lite. I call it a CRM Lite because it does track your nurtures, your pipelines, and things like that. More so, it tracks your goals, which is the more important thing. A lot of us rely heavily on the CRM to do the job for us. This is telling you where you are, just like you're going to report back to your manager. And that's where a lot of us fail. We just don't have a level of accountability in our industry because we're all little businesses. So if you're not meeting with a productivity coach or, a business coach or anything else like that, who's holding you accountable?
That's right.
Right.
You're correct. And a lot of agents don't have anything they're looking at that's got their goals broken down by day or week, or a lot of times they don't even have their goals wrote down, period, for the year. But they're especially not breaking them down and going, hey, I need to call 5 people today, or I need to call 25 people today, or whatever it is. So he told me how much this was, and I thought you, and I think I told you that I thought you were too cheap. But how much is this a month?
$20 a month.
$20 a month, and that's and there's actually even there's a trial too, isn't there?
Yeah, you get a free 30 days. You do have to put your credit card. If you don't like it after 30 days, just cancel it. You can cancel it, email us, and we'll cancel it for you. But, yeah, you get to try it out for 30 days. But I can tell you what, when you get engaged, the average user has a 31% increase. That's pretty good. But I have actually helped people double and triple their income.
Wow. That's amazing,
Yeah.
man. That's amazing. So if there's one thing out there that you could tell these agents trying to get from those 10 transactions a year to 20 or 30 transactions a year, what would you say that one piece of advice is?
Know how many people you need to contact and contact them.
That's awesome, man. Hey, man, well, I really appreciate you doing this call with me today. I think it's really interesting. I think that, there's so many agents that, I mean, number one, they're not following up with anybody. They don't know what their current numbers are. They don't know what their numbers need to be to get to where they want to go. And this whole thing, moregci.com is going to give that to them, right?
It's
right?
absolutely going to give that to them, yeah. And right on there, right on that public site, we have a calculator. So if you want to go in, just go to moregci.com, click on the calculator, plug in what your net income, what you want to put in your pocket is. You put your tax rate in there. You put your expenses, your caps, your splits, your desk fees, whatever you got, your royalties, and it's going to tell you right at the end, hey, your $100,000 is now 150 or 160,000.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So if anybody wants to get in contact with you, see your software, do the 30-day trial, what do they do?
They just go to moregci.com, run through the calculator to know how much gross commission income they need to be, how much their gross commission income needs to be, sign up. And then as soon as you sign up, you put your credentials in. Once you go through the authorization screen, it asks you those 3 questions. And then, boom, there's your roadmap. You can start inputting. And right now is the time to start thinking about 2017. Everybody wants to think about it after the ball drops and the champagne's flat and everything else like that, right? But right now,
I keep saying the same thing. If you're not like working on 2017 right now and preparing for it, you are already behind.
Yeah.
I mean, we got just done. We got like I think it's 83 days, 84 days, something like that, left in the year. And man, I think I told you I'm wanting to grow my buyer team, and I got all this stuff I'm going to do in 2017. So I'm trying to get it all in place so that on January 1st I'm not getting started. I'm like running. I'm already on track. For January to look good, and that's what I'm hoping to be at. And I think everybody needs to be there. If they wait too long, they're going to be behind.
And I'm sure everybody that's listening to this has probably heard of this small company called Google. Google just appeared one day. I was a network engineer during the .com. It just appeared one day. But if you look into Google's story, it took 5 years worth of programming to be an overnight sensation. So it's the same thing with us. There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes, right, before we can hit it out of the park. Yeah. LeBron James didn't just show up in basketball and be great. He had 15 years worth of practice. So you've got to be planning for tomorrow, but working today for that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great advice. Well, John, I really appreciate it, man, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yeah, sounds good, Jason. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks, man.